All right, we're coming at you. This is our third and final weight class preview video. Now we're getting to the big boys. We got 160 to 285. This is the 2015 Grappler Fall Classic, 6th annual Grappler Fall Classic. It's going down this Saturday, October 17th, Kellogg Arena, Battle Creek, Michigan. We got kids coming from all over the country. We're already up to like 700 kids registered in all divisions. It's going to be as big as it's ever been. We got kids from over a dozen states coming in. It's going to be loaded. The Grappler Fall Classic is presented by Wrestling Addicts. They're doing all our gear, all our finals gear, all our champions gear. You guys are going to get decked out with some sweet stuff this year if you get some. And Wrestling Addicts is also the best place to get all your custom gear. They do all, great team gear. They do online ordering, so you can go on. Coach is really convenient. You can do all your team gear through them. Don't have to ever exchange money or anything like that. They package it, they ship it. They're awesome. They're really friendly, good wrestling people. Make sure you check out Wrestling Addicts. Here we go, Steve, 160. Just so you guys know, this is Steve Wodzinski. He's the Michigan Grappler ranking guy. Been doing that for 5 or 6 years, so he knows the Michigan kids inside and out. He does all our high school analyst stuff. Dude just knows high school wrestling, and he's the AWP, Associated Wrestling Press, high school analyst, so he does all the national rankings, recruiting rankings, all that stuff. So not only does he know Michigan guys, he's now got a couple of years of experience. He really knows the national level guys as well. So he's going to be the one to really kind of provide the in-depth knowledge here, and I'm just going to look good and talk really fast. So 160, first weight, and I'm going to do more of the out-of-state guys because I know the Michigan kids, but not the way Steve does, so I don't even want to waste my time trying to know them like he does. So 160, the number 1 seed, Florida, Lake Highland Prep. As usual, Lake Highland Prep's coming with all their hammers. These dudes are studs out of Florida. Elijah Cleary is a state champ from Lake Highland Prep. He was also runner-up at this tournament last year. He lost to Dayton Racer from Iowa in the finals match. He's back and coming to win it.
Phenomenal summer.
Ranked 8th in the country right now at 160 pounds. He is the favorite, but only by a little bit, because as Steve's going to talk about in a second, we got a hammer from Michigan coming too. Out-of-state guys, though, in addition to him, we got Nick. How do you say this?
I don't know how to say it, but I've been saying Kiasis for a while.
Kiasis. Hopefully, if I see you this weekend, Nick, you can tell me how to pronounce your name so I don't butcher it anymore. And he's only a junior, so I'm assuming he'll be back next year. So I want to be able to say his name right next year when he comes back. Nick Kiasis from Ohio. He was a 2-time Division I state runner-up out of Ohio. Stud. He's the 3 seed. And then it goes down. We got Brad Laughlin, 5th in the state, Indiana. 1 division, 5th in the state. That's pretty impressive. I mean, honestly, for 160, because usually once you get to these weights, it really starts to thin out because a lot of the guys play football. So usually we get like 1, 2, 3, 4
and
guys.
because a lot of the guys who were good last year were seniors, so they're all gone too.
Exactly.
So
you don't see as many returning, state players or state champs. But this year we got
really
2, 3, 4 returning state champs, and then 3 other. So 7 guys who are returning state finalists. That is pretty nuts. And like I said, Brad Laughlin, Indiana. Cameron Lopez, really excited about him. I think he was here last year, and I remember watching him. I feel like
so.
It was pretty tough. But he was a state qualifier, 3A Illinois, which 3A in Illinois is, if you watched our other videos, we rambled about it. 3A in Illinois is really tough. So those are our out-of-state guys, but we got a really good group of in-state guys.
All right, first out of Michigan, we got my man, Foster Carmen out of Grand Rapids, CC. Fozzie is a GFC veteran. You might remember in 2011, your 98-pound Grappler Fall Classic champ, Foster Carmen.
He was such a wolf.
He was so little. He's getting huge now. He's a 160-pounder. He actually just wrestled last weekend at Journeyman. Wrestled really, really well. Beat some nationally ranked guys. Went right down to the wire with Hayden Heideley in a 4-3 match. Hayden Heideley is #1 in the country. So Foz can hang with anyone. Just committed to Cornell. I'm really excited to have him back for one last go. We got Blake Montree, Temperance Bedford, state champ. Usually, I try not to give away any technical info scouting, but it's not a secret. Blake Montree will headlock anyone from anywhere. Super dangerous. He's the man.
Neck.
Hunter Gasper, Standard Sterling, really had a breakout season last year. Was a state qualifier as a freshman, Division III state champ as a sophomore. He's the man. He's back. Brandon Garcia, Riverview, multi-time state placer, returning GFC All-American. He was a Division II state runner-up last year. And Colin Lieber, Crossville Lexington, one of the best underclassmen in the state the past couple years. I think he's a returning GFC AA. He was 3rd in the state last year and 2nd in the state as a freshman. And then moving down the list, we got Logan Vish at a Heartland returning state placer. Then we got Luke Carver, Bo Castor, returning state qualifiers at Division II. And then outside of the seats, Hayden Konjorski, real funky kid, tough kid. He could be a dark horse.
So we got 6 state finalists, 12 returning state qualifiers, 9 state placers. really deep weight at 160, and honestly, like 1 through 12, they're all good. I mean,
Yeah, there's not a lot.
yeah, there's going to be some really good matchups. Like, I'm really interested to see, like, a guy like Cameron Lopez, Colin Lieber. One of those guys are going to wrestle Foster. The semifinals are going to be sick. We're going to get to see, like, a Montre, Cleary type. I mean, we're going to have 2 state champs, Montre and Gasper, wrestling in the quarters. And the seeds hold true. So, crazy sick weight. I'm going to go with my pick first. And I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm a humongous Foster Carmen fan. I love Foster Carmen. He's not only is he a good wrestler, he's just a cool kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that he comes to the grappling class every year too. But it's going to be a really interesting matchup, him and Cleary. And I think at the end of the day, I don't know about Kiasis. I haven't seen him wrestle.
I really haven't seen a lot.
His resume is really impressive. But I feel like it's going to be Cleary and Carmen. I feel like it comes down to those two. I feel like they're really the cream of the crop in this weight class. And it's going to be kind of interesting style matchup because Fozzie's more kind of like, he's a scrambler. He's really good on the mat. He's long. He kind of gives people trouble. And then Cleary is explosive.
Dynamic.
He's really good on his feet. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think Cleary beats him on his feet, and that's why I'm going to go with Cleary.
A week ago, I probably would have taken Eli Cleary, but I watched Fozzie wrestle at Journeyman. He looked awesome. And on top of that, it's college rules, which plays right into his skill set.
That's
So
true.
with my man, Foster Carmen, the Foz.
It's really going to come down to Cleary beating him on his feet. I feel like if that match goes like scoreless first period, then
Advantage
it's definitely Carmen's favor. So that'll be a really good one to watch. I'm excited to see that match. 171. Moving on. 171 is probably one of the most, and not to take anything away from the field, because we got some really good kids, but probably the most clear-cut favorite with Andrew McNally. He's coming in from Ohio. He's a D1 state champ. He was a runner-up at the GFC last year, lost to Devin Pingle in the finals, and just committed to EMU, I
That's
believe.
right.
Going to join his teammate.
Zach Carson, former GFC champ, Uniontown Lake.
Yep.
And I'm just going to say, I've been watching Andrew McNally for a few years now, and we were doing this video last year. I said, Tony, 1 year from now, Andrew McNally, going to be ranked in the country. He is. So I got a pretty good feel for picking Andrew McNally.
Yeah, he's pretty tough. Also coming from out of state, we got Jonathan Little from Kentucky, 5th in the state in Kentucky. Christopher Morrow, state qualifier from Kentucky, and then Kevin Ford from Florida, who's a state qualifier.
Don't forget Buser, number 2.
Oh, wow, the 2 seed. How could I miss that? Brian Buser from Florida is a 2-time Florida state runner-up. So Buser, probably the best challenge for McNally. But we also got Ben Stassen, who's a semi-state qualifier out of Indiana, which as a junior semi-state qualifier coming back in Indiana, he's
especially in the upper weights.
Going to be one of the favorites in Indiana to place pretty high this year. So McNally's definitely my guy to beat. But who are the Michigan guys before we go on?
This is kind of a thin Michigan contingent, relatively speaking. Levi Saban out of Allegan, 2-time state placer, a really tough kid. He's looking at the 3 seed. We got Alexander Moore, Division I state qualifier, Southgate Anderson, Cole Retzsteiner out of Bay City Western. I'm pretty sure he's related to the Steiner brothers from the WWE because that's their real last name. So fun fact. Nathan Vanderbeer, 2-time regional qualifier out of Clarkston. He's a really tough kid.
Really hard to wrestle.
And I mean, you look at it, he's a senior. Both of his older brothers won state titles as a senior. Could be an omen.
And his brother Matt won the GFC.
That's right. And we also have Keegan Uhas, who's a kid that I think he was a regional qualifier as a freshman last year at Lowell. I think he's going to have a big year this year.
Yeah, I think so too. So breaking it down, I think, and it's so funny how it works out because like 2 years ago, 171 was like the most loaded weight class. And this year there's some really good kids, but it doesn't have the depth that, some of these other weights have. I think Buser or Saban, one of those guys, will push McNally, but I think at the end of the day, McNally just has too much experience. He's too proven for me to even think about picking again, so I gotta go.
Yeah, I'd love to mix it up and pick an upset, but I don't have it in me to pick anyone to beat Andrew McNally. But what I will say is that unseeded Nathan Vandermeer is placed in top 6, probably top 4.
Ooh, that's bold. So I think I lied a little bit on the last weight because I said McNally might be the biggest favorite. I lied. 189 has the biggest favorite in this tournament, and that's Brandon Whitman. He's going to talk more about Brandon Whitman because he's a Michigan guy, but Brandon Whitman is heavy favorite to win this weight class, especially after the summer that he just had. But out-of-state guys coming in, we actually have 2 really tough out-of-state guys to push Whitman. Adolfo Sadalongo, don't know if you've seen him wrestle. He was at the GFC last year. He took 2nd, lost to Jack Harris in the finals. He is jacked. He looks like a beast. Looks like he should be playing middle linebacker for the Dolphins. He's a stud. He was a state runner-up in Florida 2 years ago. Like I said, GFC runner-up. Oscar Ramos coming out of Wisconsin. He's got some Greco experience. I want to say he was a Greco All-American. I could be wrong.
I want to say he's a cadet or maybe a junior
Maybe
folk All-American. I think he's a folk All-American.
Yeah, maybe I'm just stereotyping because Wisconsin people are always good at Greco.
I believe he is. In one style, he's an All-American, though.
But he was 6th in the state in Wisconsin. He's the 3 seed. So those are 2 really good out-of-state guys to push Whitman. And there's a handful of Michigan guys, too.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Whitman's the man. If you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with him. But I would say that last year as a freshman, he was the best freshman I've ever seen in 6 years of doing Michigan Grappler. Probably even, if we go back farther than that, probably the best freshman since, like, Taylor Massa in 2008, 2009. So he's the real deal. He's a double Fargo finalist this summer. He's won like everything there is to win. He's an upperweight too as a freshman, which is really, really impressive. He was a Division III state champ last year. His only losses all year to Logan Massa. He was injured last year, so he didn't get to come to the GFC. He's itching to go. I know he's dominated the middle school division more than once. I'm going with Brandon Whitman as the heavy favorite, obviously. Coming out of Allegan as the 4 seed is Austin Farrell, Division III state placer last year. Funky kid. Roy Foster, big, tough, strong kid. Not very flash here, but Canton-Salem, Plymouth Canton-Salem, PCS. He's a tough kid, strong kid, holds a really good position. Cash Thompson out of Lakewood is kind of a sleeper. He's really tough on top. He's got some skills. Trevor Piggott, Ionia, was a kid who had a really decorated youth career, kind of broke out last year, Division II state qualifier. And Brendan Berry out of Chippewa Hills, 2-time regional qualifier, busy summer. He's going to be in the mix too.
Don't forget about Nick Brandt, regional qualifier.
That's right. DeWitt, Michigan,
kid,
and Eli Bolton coming out of Lowell, Michigan. Those are some guys that are right on the verge of being seeded. They're going to make some noise.
End of the day, assuming you're going with Whitman.
Be Whit.
Yeah, got to. And another note about Whitman, I mean, it's, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but really was the best kid in Fargo last year.
Both styles.
I mean, I don't know how he managed to lose that finals match. And my heart broke for him a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he's going to make up for it by getting some at the GFC this weekend. 215, we got a deep 215. I mean, honestly, 215 and heavy are probably the best that they've ever been.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as just overall depth, we got 7 state qualifiers at 215, and 5 state placers, including a state champ, 2 nationally ranked kids. Pretty tough. I'm going to let you talk about the Michigan guys. Ohio, though, we got returning GFC champ Jack Harris. He's the 2 seed. He was a runner-up in Ohio. He's done a lot in the offseason. He's ranked top 10 in the country at 195. So he's up at 220. I'm pretty sure he's a little undersized at 220. He's planning on going 95, I think, at Super 32. We didn't want to cut all the way down to 89. But he's really tough. Like I said, he won this tournament before. Grant Martin out of Ohio. Never seen him wrestle. 8th in the state, though, in D1 as a junior.
Right.
So coming back as a senior.
Not a lot of underclassmen placing on the upper weights.
Yeah,
Ohio
he's going to be
D1.
one of the favorites this year to win a title in Ohio in D1. I mean, essentially could have Harris and Martin, 2 state champs out of Ohio. Then we also have Ben Golden, only a sophomore. As a freshman last year, he was 5th in the state in Florida. That's pretty crazy. So those are 3 really, really, really good. Oh, and we got Justin Sanders from Ohio, who's a state qualifier as well. So some good out-of-state
And we have
guys.
the Schaefer kid.
Oh, he's not even on here. You didn't even list him. There's
me.
also a kid named Schaefer. What's his first name?
I want to say John, but I could be wrong.
Johnny
Schaefer.
Schaefer. He's a Graham kid who dominated the middle school division. He's a freshman now. He's coming in unseeded, I think, which could be crazy because he could draw somebody first round and throw a wrench in the bracket. But it'll be interesting to see him as a freshman at 215 with 2 nationally ranked guys and a bunch of studs. So it'll be interesting. But really good Michigan kids. Who we got?
Leading the way, Luke Reddy, one of the toughest kids in the entire state. Got a really unique skill set for a big man. He's a bulldog. So he's top on top. He's got a lot of stuff you can do from a lot of different positions. He's had a lot of good offseason credentials, been in the finals at Flow Nationals. He's been top 3 at the Grappler Fall Classic. He's been in the finals in Fargo. Got a really, really diverse skill set. Number 3, Chase Beard, Allegan, Michigan. Had a good season last year. He was a state runner-up in Division III. He's not really an imposing kid when you look at him, but do not undersell Chase Beard because he is tough as nails. Coming in at number 7, we have Ernie Diaz, who's a Division IV state qualifier last year from St. Louis as just a freshman. Then Tekeli Azio, Walled Lake Central, super athletic kid. He's the 8th seed. He's a regional qualifier last year, could make some noise. And then also one more sleeper out of Westland, John Glenn. Watch out for Jawan Petit, who's got some moves.
So this weight, I think it's going to come. Honestly, one through 5 for me are all pretty good. I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the top 2 though. We got 2 guys that are ranked top 10 in the country with Reddy and Harris. But I think not only because he's my guy and I coach him and I got to support my man, but also because I think Reddy's gonna have a little bit of size.
He
on
will have
Harris.
some size.
And Harris, at the end of the day, he's a 95 pounder. He's not like he's gonna be undersized big time, but I think, he's gonna be dealing with more weight than he's used to, which that gives me the slight edge to Reddy, and I can't pick against my own guy, so I'm gonna go with Reddy. He's gonna be ready.
Luke, I love you. Gonna go with the returning champ. I think Harris just has such a diverse skill set. He can do so many things. He's so seasoned, but it's gonna be a good one.
Keep an eye out for Harris Beard semifinal.
Yes.
Could be an interesting matchup. All right, heavyweight. By far, the best heavyweight
so.
group we've ever had. Usually GFC, I don't even know if we had a returning placer last year. Who won it last year?
Not Brian Darius. That was 2 years ago.
I don't think it was a
Cole
returning.
Antcliff.
Was he a returning
He was a returning
state
state
placer?
qualifier last
So
year.
we did not have
placer.
one returning state placer in this weight class last year. This year, we have 5 people who are former high school
all
state
Michigan
placers.
boys.
All Michiganders. So I'm going to let Steve go.
The one seed, we got a guy who kind of came out of nowhere at the state tournament last year. Probably the best heavyweight name. Actually, we have 2 of the best heavyweight names you're gonna find here. Number 1, Tom Rock out of Sparta.
Rock.
Gotta love that name. He's got a killer blast double. He's a monster. Took 5th last year. Has a great chance to win a D2 state title this year. Another name you gotta love, Eric Conquest, another Bulldog. Coming out of Brighton, Michigan. He was 4th in Division I last year at 215. He wrestles like a heavyweight. Dude is going to be right there in every match he's in, every match he wrestles. Colin McFarland, coming out of Airport, 6th in the state last year. He's a senior, also a 215-pounder moving up. Then we got 2 Division IV state placers. Aaron Kelly, who was 8th last year at Byron High School. Then Logan Kennedy, the 5 seed. Watch out for him. Last year he was really banged up. He didn't place at the state tournament, but 2 years ago he was an all-state freshman heavyweight in Division IV. So he's got a lot of talent.
Absolutely. Who you going to pick?
I'm going to go with the big man. I think he's got some size advantage, and I really like his double. I'm going with Tom Rock.
I don't care how big he is, because my man Conquest is used to wrestling the big boys, so I'm going to go with the sleaze. Eric Conquest, which if he does win, could potentially give the Brighton Bulldogs 2 GFC champs, which would be pretty sweet. I don't think I've ever coached any of my own athletes have ever won the Grappler Fall Classic
I don't think so.
high school division, so it could be a landmark year for old Coach Greathouse. So there you have it, folks. The big boys, those are our picks. Outside of 71 and 89, we had a lot of diversity in our picks. You can see all of the videos. They're all going to be posted here on Associated Wrestling Press, MichiganGrappler.com, to see all the previews that we did. Like I said earlier, the seeds are up. You can view the seeds, all the seeds, top to bottom, and it's not too late to get registered. We're approaching 700 total kids, so we don't have a ton of room left, but we probably still have a handful. So if you're watching this video right now, you probably got about 24 hours to get registered. So it's still time for you to come on and get some. It's going to be live on TrackCast, first year ever. We're really excited about it. We're going to have all the mats streaming live. So if you can't make it to Kellogg Arena this Saturday, you can watch it live from your home. It'll feel like you're there. Watch every single match. And TrackCast is doing this new thing now where it's instantly archived. So the match gets over, and let's say, Reddy and Harris, that match finishes, and you're like, wow, that was sweet, I want to watch it. You can instantly go back to your archives and watch it. It's $10. You can watch the whole thing. TrackCast does a really, really good job. It's a high quality feed. Shouldn't be any issues. It's going to be a great day of wrestling, the best field we've ever had. 6th annual GFC. See you guys on Saturday. We're going to get some.